Good morning. Good morning. So this morning we have an introit prepared for you by the pop-up choir, and it is called Ishe Oluwa. It is a song from Nigeria, West Africa, and the translation is God's work will never be spoiled.
Our pop-up choir, everyone. All right, good morning. I'm Sasha Ostrom. I'm the minister here at the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and it is wonderful to be with you, the small crowd of the brave souls who dared the weather today, for us all to gather together today once more for worship, for lifting up that which is of worth in this great common life we all share together. And as we settle in for the hour, let's pause now and center our minds and our spirits around this month's theme of resilience. We begin with words by Alison Wohler. With thankful hearts, we have come together this morning to celebrate the bounty of the day, to bask in the warmth of this community, to share with friends the tides of our lives, to entertain perennially our hopes for a better future. We join together this morning, as always, to resist injustice and inequality wherever they may be found. Our hearts are touched by a human need that we feel around us, whether far away or within the reach of our hand. We come here to be together because this is how we believe our lives are best lived, in questioning and in conversation, in compassion and in service, in gratitude and in joy, in companionship and in love. It is good to be together with you this morning. And now come, my friends, and let's worship.
Good morning. I'm Beth Wilson, one of our worship associates. Deep calls, I skipped a line. It's time now to kindle our chalice, the symbol of one of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Is there someone who would like to come up and light the chalice? I'm not looking for anybody little. I'm looking for someone taller than little. We have someone coming. Thank you so much. Our chalice lighting words today are by Gordon B. McKeeman. Deep calls unto deep, joy calls unto joy, light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. And now our affirmation. Please stand as you're able, and it will be up here on the screen. Please repeat each line after me, which helps our youngest members join, or people who don't know English very well yet. Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
And service is its law.
And service is its law.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another.
And to help one another.
Please join me now for our opening hymn. Today it is number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Good morning again, and welcome. And I'm going off script for 1 minute. Last time I was scheduled to be worship associate was Martin Luther King Sunday. And today is another snow Sunday, and I guarantee I'm not at fault for the snow. Welcome again, especially to any newcomers, returning members of our community, and anyone who joined us online today. If you're tuning in live on YouTube, please say hi in the chat if you haven't already. We're delighted to have you with us. We're a community of many ages, but we all worship together. You can join us in many ways on Sundays, including online, here in our sanctuary, or from one of the many rooms in our building where we live stream the service. In particular, I want to draw your attention to our family room for families with little ones and maybe not so little ones, which is located out our doors and to your right. The family room is a comfortable alternative space to watch the live streamed service. Children of all ages are always welcome in all of our services, but we offer childcare as an additional option for families with small children ages 9 months to 5 years. Parents, if you find yourself in need of childcare at any point during this worship today, please bring your little one to room A in the Gateway Center. Again, welcome to everyone here with us today. We are glad you're here.
It can feel rough in these times to know what to do as we read the news and all of those things. And there are many places for many folks, but sometimes we don't know where we fit in the broader movement. So we're going to try to alleviate that. We're going to join the Unitarian Universalist Association in their common read this year. And so I'm going to have the president tell us all about it.
Beloveds, it gives me great delight to invite you to join us in the UUA's 2025-2026 Common Read, which will be Deepa Iyer's Social Change Now, a guide for connection and reflection. Here are some reasons why we think that you will be as excited about this opportunity as we are. There's a real natural connection between our UU shared values and the work that Deepa Iyer raises in this important book. And we know that in these days, we need ways to work effectively together to meet this moment faithfully and well. In these times, we need to take the sustainability of our social justice groups and our partnerships extremely seriously. And this common read, as an experience that we share together, will provide a structure for our congregations, our communities, our affinity groups to check in with and improve upon our ability to be humble, to be useful partners in broader social justice movements and projects, and to work together to stay connected as we respond to the needs of the world. Here's what we most want you to know. We want you to know that this common read includes an adult track using a small group ministry format that many of you will be familiar with for reflection, for discussion, that can also be used by older youth and by our emerging adults. This common read is intentionally multi-generational in its programming, and it will also have 3 active workshops for children and their families, including chosen and extended families, based on Deepa Iyer's children's book, We Are Builders, as well as the Social Change Now workbook. What's important is that this common read invites us to practice our lifespan whole church faith engagement. And we envision it touching multiple aspects of congregational life, because even when we are not explicitly doing social justice projects, we know that all of our UU communities and sub-communities are oriented toward transformational justice, which lies at the heart of who and how we are as a Unitarian Universalist people. This is truly a lifespan invitation for all ages to explore the congregation as a social change ecosystem, an ecosystem that will hold us in our faith as we continue to live into our shared values together. I hope you will join us in 2025 to 2026.
So we are offering 2 sessions, but then some. If you would like to engage in this book, you can join Reverend Sasha and myself on Thursday nights starting in March 19th. Dates are there. And we will go over the book as an adult group. Go to the next slide. If you are a family or want to join our multi-generational conversation, this is designed to have conversations with our younger members as well as our adults. Those meetings will take place. Those are actually Saturdays. I miswrote that. I apologize. On Saturdays, those dates are correct. From 10 a.m. to noon in there. Go to the next slide. So, if those dates don't work for you, or you have a group of people who you want to engage in this work with, you can run your own little discussion group. There's a great discussion guide that the UUA has put together, which is what we'll be using for our groups, and you guys can do that as well. This Wednesday, we'll go to our, you can go to the next, muff.org/common read, and you can sign up for one of those 2 groups or to lead your other group. And if you want to lead another group, but you're unsure of how to do that, myself and Reverend Sasha will work with you and help you, give you some tools to doing that. I want to go back to this book real quick. We've used this book in our discussion right after the election last year as a kind of framework. It says that not everyone needs to be on the front lines of social change, and because I know that some folks are nervous about going up there. There may be personality reasons for why you don't want to do it. Maybe you're not an aggressive person who wants to be on the front lines, but all of us can be part of a social change. We need people who are caring for each other, for those who are on the front lines. We need people who are doing the work of organizing scheduling the bus rides and all those things. There's all sorts of ways in which people can be part of this ecosystem of social change. And that's what the book kind of talks about, both with the kids and our adults. So we hope that you will be part of that this year. We're going to go, there's 3 sessions for each one of these in March. That'll hopefully give us a pretty good solid base of how this works. But we hope that we will continue to have these discussions and continue to frame things in this work as we move forward. Just as the president said there, not only in this direct time of direct action, but as we, as an organization, as a community, continue to be an ecosystem of social change, so social transformation. So I hope you'll join us. Look forward to you. Yeah.
Time now for our milestones and passages. Sometimes we come to the sacred place with a lot on our hearts. Maybe you got married. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you have recovered from an illness, or perhaps you have an upcoming surgery. And children have joys and sorrows too, things that make you happy or sad. And whatever your age, you can share your joys and sorrows in our service by filling out our milestones and passages form before 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. That form can be found in our newsletter, and we also have paper versions of the form available on the table on your way into the sanctuary. This morning we have a few items to share that people have submitted, so please respond after each by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." And if you are joining us online today, I invite you to participate in the chat. The Christian season of Lent began this Wednesday and will continue through April 2nd, marking a time of reflection, spiritual discipline in preparation for Easter. To all in our fellowship, as well as in the wider community who are observing the sacred time, may your Lenten fasts open up lots of life-giving space in your lives for spiritual enrichment. We hold you in our hearts. This morning, one of our fellowship children, Charlotte Salisbury, shares that last night Sheila and Noelle had a kids' night out. We watched both the Moana movies, played games like Sequence, and chatted. There were both less healthy snacks, but also better snacks like grapes. And overall, they were super kind, and they watched us very well. So thank you. We hold you in our hearts. Carolyn Blanchard shares the joy that the middle school youth group kids, as well as a few other kid helpers, along with their parent volunteers, Nick and Kylie, did a tremendous job last week hosting the pancake breakfast. The kids took turns preparing food in our beautiful kitchen. They set up food lines, and they washed dishes for hours. Thank you to all of the enthusiastic and supportive congregational members who ate nearly 350 pancakes, 8 pounds of back and sausage, 5 dozen eggs, and more. Next year, we will cook more bacon. So thank you, middle school youth group and supporters. We hold you in our hearts. Barb Pekka shares that she and Frank recently celebrated their 58th anniversary. As this is being said, they are now on a trip to New Zealand and Australia and will be back at the end of March. Congratulations. We hold you in our hearts. And Julie Peterson shares, please hold in your hearts the brother of Nana Osawu, our live-in helper. He is in intensive care in Newark right now. We hold you in our hearts. And now we have a special milestone and gratitude to share.
As many of you know, this place doesn't work without its wonderful volunteers who give of themselves. For many years before I even came here, and one of the things that I saw when I was interviewing for this job that made me so excited about this place was that it's offered weekly yoga. Now, I never had a chance to join Hazel in yoga, mainly because I'm not even close to flexible enough. But I was so excited that this was the kind of place that served this and that Hazel was giving of that. And so I reached out, and recently she has decided that it's time to no longer lead that, to move on, and that's wonderful for her to set that boundary for herself. But I reached out to those folks who were impacted by her, and they got together and wanted to say thank you. So who's coming up? Helene took charge of this. So Hazel, you got to come up here too. Yeah. I wasn't just going to talk about you down there.
So Paul and I are representing about 8 or 10 of us who've been, oh, Linda, come on up.
Yeah.
I know Noelle is here today. She's doing childcare.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been over 10 years that Hazel, first we used to meet Friday mornings here at the fellowship, and then we went to Zoom, and we all liked Zoom, so we stayed on Zoom since now. And we're so appreciative of the community, not only Hazel's amazing talent as a yogi and teacher, but her dedication and that she asked us to donate back to the fellowship. She didn't charge for the class. We all donated what we could to went to the religious education program fund for the fellowship, and really all around. And so we came together as a group and found a small token of our appreciation for you. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much.
Beautiful. Yeah.
A glass chalice that lights up even more beautifully when it's lit with some of the
little chalices on it.
the candles that are in the base here. So.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you, Hazel. Yeah. Thank you. There you go.
Let's now take a quiet moment for the prayers and meditations in our own hearts, those shared as well as those unspoken. So go ahead and take a moment just to settle into your chair, maybe close your eyes, let yourself sink into your breathing. Maybe notice the breaths of the people around you, this community that is holding you. Sometimes we talk about the spirit of life as ruach or breath. Allow yourself to feel that spirit holding all of us together in this still moment. This is just a reminder for us to take a little bit of time doing this, maybe every day, certainly every week together, but every day is really good, as we discussed last week. Amen and blessed be. And now let's go ahead and remain seated as we sing number 396, I Know This Rose Will Open.
Our reading this morning is by the Reverend Margaret Weiss, who is an adjunct professor at Springfield College and an organizational leader with over 15 years of experience focusing on justice building, empowerment, and a trauma-informed lens. This piece is titled A Recipe for Resilience. This recipe has been tweaked over times, so adjust as necessary. Sometimes it yields more servings than anticipated. Sometimes it needs a bit more of this ingredient or that. It comes from generations who have gone before me, and I've added my own flavor along the way. A recipe for resilience. 1 part courage. 2 part tears of failure and doubt. 1 part deep listening. 1 part each of both silence and laughter. A dash of trust, a pinch of wonder, a heaping scoop of naps and snacks. In a separate bowl, mix together family, friends, and those who challenge you to be your best self, those with whom you may disagree. Add these slowly to the larger pot. Add a bay leaf for, well, whatever it is bay leaves do, and let simmer for as long as you need, which is often longer than you realize or anticipate. Keep the heat at an even temperature, hot enough to cook throughout, but not so hot it burns the bottom. Can be served at room temperature, warm, or even cold if necessary. Serve alongside your favorite soft blanket, dog, cat, or other soft item. Make often. Share with others. Hold on to the leftovers. You'll need them after a long day that challenges your soul. We come now to the time in our service each Sunday when we pause to offer our gifts of financial support to this congregation. Your donations make all that we do here together possible and also help make our wider community a better place. That's because each Sunday we give at least half of the money we collect to an organization that is doing good work to advance our Unitarian Universalist values in a world that needs them now more than ever. Today is a special day, the last day of our food drive for the Interfaith Food Pantry. Thank you so much for your generous donations. If you were not able to donate items, or if you'd like to give a bit more to help feed the hungry here in Morris County, please know that 100% of today's offering will go to the Interfaith Food Pantry. You may give in our collection plate or by following the instructions printed in your order of service and shown on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generosity.
Let me show the way. Let me be a beacon for those who gone astray. Let me be a guide in the dark of night. Let me be a tower. Let me be a light. Water may be rocky, the journey may be long, the wisdom of our promise on the sea. But I will send a signal, a message to be strong, so the lost can look to me. Let me be a fire, burning clear and bright. Let me be a beacon. Let me be a light. Let me be a light. Let me be a light.
Girls for singing for us this snowy morning. So yesterday I realized that today marks the 1 month exactly since I visited the Twin Cities. And it has been, as many of you know, an intense time. Now it began with the photo that'll be coming up here in a moment. This hall full of clergy from every faith under the sun, all gathered in a beautiful sanctuary with stained glass windows. We were there to learn about the resistance in Minneapolis and to bring its lessons home to our own communities. 2 days later, Alex Preddy died. The National Guard was called in, creating a very tense situation until they de-escalated with donuts and coffee. And soon I was back home to our own local efforts to stop ICE from purchasing property in Roxbury for a new concentration camp, or as they call it, an immigration processing center. Sadly, the sale went through, and DHS now has a foothold right in our own backyard. Now, that's a lot of ups and downs in a very short time for our nation, for the Twin Cities, and especially for immigrant communities everywhere. That's a lot of pain and a lot of fear. But there's also a lot of hope. And the Twin Cities offer us some important lessons on how to stay strong in times like this. Now, last week I shared 5 lessons that I learned during my brief time there. This week I only have one lesson to share, but it is a big one. And here it is. A resilient community is a joyful community. An effective resistance is a joyful resistance. We human beings have many ways of tapping into our joy. Just think of a few of the things that bring you deep gladness in your own life. Maybe it's art, music, or laughter, like these drummers here who are making some noise for justice in the Twin Cities. Maybe it's spending time with loved ones to break bread together over a good meal, or even just to bask in one another's company. Or maybe you find joy in seeing your highest values take root in the world around you, and that moves you to work for them in the world. And all of these joys can help us to nurture community resilience, to resist oppression, and to create a more loving and just world. Now, I recently read a post on social media by an organizer in the Twin Cities. In it, she said that those of us who do not live under occupation surrounded by violence, terror, and human suffering might not know what joy really is. Gone for her are the days when she spent time and money on luxuries, the latest books at the bookstore, meal delivery, trips to the movie theater, or even vacation. None of that is in her life right now. Every spare cent and most of her time is now devoted to mutual aid, keeping people safe and supporting the movement for change. Now, one might think that that is a joyless way to live. None of life's little pleasures, none of them at all. What a drag, right? But she said that she finds a deeper joy, a joy that is less dependent on luxuries or everything being sunshine and rainbows. I'm reminded of a song from Resistance Revival Chorus where they sing, "This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me." So her joy is now less dependent on her circumstances. It's less dependent on the state of the world around her. And instead, she finds, she says, joy in resistance. And so we will explore that a little bit together soon. But first, we're going to pause now and sing. Our song is number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere, and we're going to sing just the first verse for now. And go ahead and rise in body or spirit. That I told a little while ago about the organizer in Minneapolis who says that she finds her joy in resistance. It brings to mind something that the minister and civil rights activist Howard Thurman once said. He said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Now, it seems to me that the people in Minneapolis, despite living right now in pretty dire and desperate circumstances, do not check their joy at the door when they enter into the work to defend themselves and their neighbors. They bring everything that brings them joy, everything that makes them come alive with them to that work. You and I know that the world is in deep need right now. There is so much deprivation and desperation everywhere. And none of us, not one of us, can meet every single need. There's just no way that we're able to do that. But we can bring our joy with us into this work and use it to create strength, healing, and justice wherever we are. A little while ago, just a moment ago, we sang, "There is more love somewhere." Our love, our deepest joy, is so much more than the little luxuries that we enjoy in life. There's way more love in the world than that. There are deeper expressions of love than that. Do you love justice? Do you love diverse and inclusive communities? Do you love your neighbors so much that you will fight for them? Do those things perhaps bring you joy? Or maybe you love art. Perhaps you love to paint or to write music or to sing. Maybe acting, dance, or teaching are things that bring you joy. So what if you could use those things that you most love, the things that bring you most joy, to create justice? The things that bring us joy can be used to protect and to care for one another. They can be used to work for our rights and also to create more just institutions. They can be used to cultivate more life-giving joy, because joy tends to spark more joy, as anyone who watched Alyssa Liu at the Olympics probably experienced firsthand. Now, last week, some of us got to see for ourselves how joy can help weave together community and resist injustice. And we did it together through the joy of music. So raise your hand if you were somebody who got to experience that joy firsthand with singing resistance. Got quite a few folks who attended that. So Singing Resistance comes to us out of Minnesota, and it is a nonviolent movement that uses music to challenge systems of injustice. And now we all get a chance to taste a little bit of that joy for ourselves. It's time for us now to pause again and to sing, but this time we have a special guest with us. Arda Collins led our Singing Resistance gathering last week, and she has a really fun and joyful song to teach those of us who find some joy in music, theater, and civil rights. Arda, come on up.
Say from here. Thank you so much, Reverend Sasha, for inviting me today. I have a little bit of a video for us to listen. I would love you to consider this song as a tool for you to learn, to share. It could save a life.
Officer comes up to you. Here are a few things you can do. Ask for their name and badge number. Be sure to write it down. Ask for a warrant signed by a judge, which you won't let them in without. And don't say anything, don't sign anything, don't let them trick you into opening the door. Ask if you're free to go, ask for a lawyer, protect yourself and neighbors, and record. Everybody!
This comes to us from the Bread and Puppet Theater Company from Vermont. Is anyone familiar? They've been around for years and years and years. And this zine came from a really lovely creator on Instagram. So these are things that I share with you. I wonder if we could sing it together. So if you have your zine, feel free to open it up. Resistance comes in all forms. Consider. None of this can be heard on the recording. If you go to the line, I will. Thank you. Resistance comes in all forms. Knowing a phone number to call or sharing the song with a neighbor. is a wonderful way of resistance. So, will you sing along with me? Here we go. If an officer or ICE comes up to you, here are a few things you can do. Here we go. Ask for their name and badge number. They should write it down. Ask for a warrant signed by a judge. Don't let them in without. And don't say anything. Don't sign anything. Don't let them trick you into opening the door. Ask if you're free to go. Ask for a lawyer. Protect yourself, your neighbors, and record, record, record. Thank you. There are some resources on the back. Know Your Rights. COSECHA, New Jersey, is a really wonderful organization. You can follow them on the social media. You could also join us on the bridge. There's a lot of us on over 287 or 80. If you have any questions about that, I'm happy to share. And Reverend Sasha has all the slides from our Singing Resistance. We are working on perhaps an action this weekend and coming up. We would love to see you. And micro joys are how we survive macro griefs. So being together in community is the most important thing at this time. Thank you so much for having me.
Can you show us where on the full page that didn't get cut, where the slit should go?
Yes, absolutely. So if you fold it like, so you can print this out. It's also in the zine, in the slide, so you can print it out yourself. Fold it like a hot dog, hamburger, 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 and then open it up. This is how I taught kids on Zoom for a long time. If you cut it at the resources side, when you fold it, and then you just squish it together, and it makes that little zine for you. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me. I'm happy to talk you through that. And there is a little info on the slides on how to fold a zine. Thank you for asking.
So there's a certain lighthearted humor and gentle beauty in the Twin Cities movement for justice, and there's some real power in that. So I'd like to show you a few symbols of resistance that I think spring from a deep joy that folks in the Twin Cities have in their hearts, a joy that gives them resilience despite their painful circumstances. So here is the first example. So during my trip to the Twin Cities, I visited a Latine church that used art to weave their community together and help everyone stay resilient through the nightmare there. Now, every year, as part of their Las Posadas Christmas tradition, they get together and they make a bunch of silvery paper stars like this that are mounted on sticks. And these, of course, represent the Star of Bethlehem, and they process with it outdoors during that time of the year, as you can see in this photo here from Christmas a few years ago. But this year, they took the ritual one step further. They transformed the Las Posadas star into a symbol of resistance, solidarity, and care. So on the stars, they wrote the names of people in their community who couldn't safely be with them in person. And soon it became their tradition to also carry these stars with them at immigration justice marches. And in doing so, they actually carried the people who were endangered by ICE with them in spirit. And although Christmas had passed by the time I visited the Twin Cities, the ritual continued. The community had found a way to carry the joy of the holiday season and the joy of their traditions with them into this hard time as a way to offer care and connection in their community. Now, humor, too, is a tool of resilience and resistance. We just heard a hint of that in the song we just sang. Humor can help reveal how absurd and foolish unjust institutions are. And other times, humor can help support nonviolent resistance by countering any attempts to paint justice workers as violent agitators, such as with this photo of Ardith at our Roxbury protests recently. Because who can fear a giant inflatable unicorn, right? Humor also helps us to make resistance a little bit more lighthearted and fun, which is something we often need in hard times. Not only does a little bit of joy help make the pain more bearable, but it also helps to reassure people who are maybe a little bit more anxious about participating in resistance work, that it can help build our movement by bringing more people in. Now, it's hard to be nervous when one of your protest marshals is wearing a bright green toadstool jacket and a big old frog purse. Now, one kind of lighthearted humor that I witnessed in Minnesota also had a hint at a deeper and wider joy. In the Twin Cities, I saw signs that used playful local pride to undermine federal occupation. Although I didn't take any photos myself, I found some pretty good examples of what I saw out there, some of the gentle humor. For example, this sign that reads, "I like ice in my pop, not in my soda." Love me some puns, and I love that this is one that is up against the backdrop of that kind of newer, starry blue Minnesota flag, and was celebrating Minnesota culture and community in the face of federal aggression. And all over the place, there were these joyful Minnesota jokes and references. So take this sign. I heart hot dish and the Fourth Amendment. I experienced hot dish for the first time. I don't know if it's the very, very, very best thing in the world, but it is pretty amazing when you're coming out of -30 weather and are needing a little bit to eat. Or check out this one. This is merging the Minnesota state bird, which I believe is a loon, with the symbol of the Star Wars Rebel Alliance. Now, even the term, and I didn't know this until I was in Minneapolis, even the term ice out is a joyful local pun. Ice out is the term for the time when the lakes finally thaw after winter, a time that's a really big deal out there culturally, according to the locals who explained it to me over dinner. They were saying that people actually go out in t-shirts and in shorts despite the lingering cold. There are contests to predict the exact day and sometimes even the time when the ice on the lake will melt. And the whole thing has this just joyful and almost festive atmosphere. So calling their movement Ice Out then is really powerful. It heralds a day in the future, hopefully soon, an awaited spring when ice's bitter grip on Minnesota will release, and there will be cause once again for the kind of joyful celebration that the other kind of Ice Out inspires each and every year. So my friends, we live in a difficult and painful time for many communities, but that doesn't mean that there isn't deep joy. As we move together through this time, may we each find and embrace whatever beauty we find along the way to spark joy. May we create spaces in our hearts, in our lives, and in our movements for that bright joy to grow. And may we share our joy with a world that hungers for the loving care of those who have come alive with joy. Amen. Blessed be, and Ice Out. Let's rise, embody your spirit. We're going to sing just 2 of the verses of There's More Love Somewhere. That is the verses 1 and 4, our love and joy verses.
Before we close, I'd like to draw your attention to our Minutes for Ministries. This is a time when we share brief updates about our congregation's activities to help us stay engaged with our community beyond our Sunday service. This morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the following announcements. Any newcomers with us today who are brave are invited to fill out a welcome card to help you get connected with us. You can also talk to our welcome ambassador who would love to meet you and answer any questions. Look for the sunny gold sash. If you have questions about religious education, please talk to our religious education ambassador who's wearing a green sash. Anyone needing a caring presence this morning will find a compassionate listening ear with one of our lay pastoral care associates who will be hanging out here in the sanctuary or out in the lobby after the service for a short time if anyone is interested in speaking with them. You'll recognize them by their sky blue sashes. If today's sash wearers are here with us, please stand and wave so we can see you. Okay. We have several great activities for you this week. This week, join us, probably not tomorrow, for Days for Girls Kits Makers. Wednesday, probably by then, for mindless meditation. Thursday for adult choir, yay, and middle school book club. And next Sunday for our Muff Free Community Swap. And now we have a special announcement about one more very special event happening this week. Shari?
Good morning. Last Sunday, I expressed my gratitude to the Muff artists who have donated their work to help us celebrate this coming Saturday and to help with mortgage prevention. I also realized that day that this month's theme of resilience is not new for the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Here's the logo for our Deeper Roots Whiter Wings phase of the capital campaign beginning in 2018. A gift of another fellowship artist, David Snedden. It says, "Our Resilience Rising."
Yesterday morning, with gratitude to Nick Walwork, we launched our online auction to benefit mortgage prevention. It's filled with a variety of unique art donated by exceptionally talented members of our fellowship. This art auction offers many styles at many price points for everyone. We also have 3 works of art to be auctioned live at the Gateways Glitter and Song event. Yvonne Geist-Gorman has gifted us with this custom sculpture titled Cherry Blossoms, created from glass and anchored to a stone she foraged from our grounds. As she posted on Instagram, Yvonne chose cherry blossoms to celebrate renewal, hope, and spiritual growth. Yvonne wrote this poem which distills the essence of resilience. If you want to see true grit, watch someone break. Then watch as the pieces settle, as the hands begin moving, as a new person is made.
Yvonne lives across the street. And so the experience of having 5 of her neighbors and ours sue us to try to stop our building project was particularly painful. We settled the lawsuit, but then came COVID. Yvonne and Ryan have 2 children, Miles and Harper, who have grown up here. And so losing the ability to be together in person for 2 years due to COVID was especially difficult. But as a community, we also have come through those 2 challenges. And since the end of COVID, we have turned over almost our entire staff, except for Katie and Alex, of course. We're still here. Grateful for Nick, Maria, Sasha, and Victoria, for Katie, for Alex, and for Sergio's return. Resolved to grow and thrive. And we are going to celebrate our resilience next Saturday.
In addition to Yvonne's cherry blossom sculpture, the live auction will also include this evocative photograph by Matt Barry. Matt and his wife, Rachel, have more recently arrived, and they've both been drawn to our resilient spirit and have shared theirs with us. In alignment with the experience of being a member in a community that is always changing but endures, Matt writes, "This image explores the relationship between fleeting human encounters and enduring presence, transience and permanence within an ordinary moment." You can see more of Matt's work at the Guild of Creative Art in Shrewsbury, New Jersey from February 28th through March 25th. And here is Nina Nemeth's wonderful mixed media artwork, Belonging. Nina says, "This piece explores belonging and collective presence. Each picture is formed from different patterns and textures representing individual stories while standing together within a shared space. The absence of facial detail invites the viewer to see themselves within the group, emphasizing connection, coexistence, and the strength found in togetherness. We strive to offer this to each other and to all newcomers and friends. Please also visit Nina's one-woman art show at the Monmouth Museum, which runs through March 2nd.
But about those neighbors, since the settlement in 2016, Katie and fellowship leadership have helped heal our ties with our neighbors. We've invited them to attend our celebration so we can keep moving forward truly together.
Please visit, Please visit the art auction site to see 11 silent auction artworks, including a smaller piece by Nina Nemeth. The link is here and will also be in this coming week's newsletter, along with other updates about the event. And please, not yet.
Okay. Above all, our celebration this Saturday is about finding the joy in our shared achievement and the end of our 12-year campaign. So regardless of the level at which you choose to attend, please
get your tickets today. Please.
Mes chers invités, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight. So sit back.
Okay. It's almost time for our yearly Kids Run Talent Show. It's almost time for a yearly Kids Run Talent Show. It's for all ages. This year it is on March 7th from 2 to 4, I think. There are sign-ups online and in the Great Hall. Thank you.
Very briefly, some of you know me as the organizer of the Green Aprons. But what I want to announce is that we need everybody's help in our community during social hour. You don't have to be a trained Green Apron to help clear tables, fold up chairs, or sweep the floor even. So we're going to start having a weekly sign-up this Sunday for the next Sunday. And it will be on a clipboard out in the hallway. And you will just need to take direction. There will be a trained person there to help you learn how to help the community. So please sign up. Thank you all.
It's time now for us to bring our time of worship to a close. And as we go out into our daily lives and hunker down in the snow for a few days, I leave you with the words of the Reverend Maria Teresa Gustillo Gallardo. We cast not our eyes below. We say to ourselves, we are how we came, wounded from struggles, triumphant in our survival, entitled by birthright to belong to this, the only humankind there is, saying, I am included, I belong, I am here, and I will and be and do. I will breathe joy into desolation. I will breathe peace into conflict. I will breathe life into destruction. I will be the earth I wish to see. I am growth and hope and glee. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.